Darkness is spreading everyone darkness. Welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is September 15th, at least for 2 more minutes, 2025. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you possibly are into going and getting, some precious metal or your IRA and turning it into precious metals, and this is the company to do it. They have a link in the description where you can learn from them. They tell you all that is going on. And then from there, either go with them or you don't. It's up to you. So, all right, we're going to get started. We did one. Sometimes I get busy and I'll like make the video and I'll forget to put it out. And the one earlier today that went out like 6:30. That was supposed to go out like 2, 3 o'clock. My apologies, but not too bad. Got it out there. So, all right. By the way, I heard you can't hype my videos anymore. That's awesome. Thank you. Did a gear review on PrepperNow on the OUPES Exodus 1200. Great little machine. Go check it out if you want to, have something that can run some things if you need it. Maybe go for camping and stuff like that. A little solar generator. Great. That is in the link in the description. But other than that, we're going to get through this. We're not going to be long-winded. Good amount going on. Basically, the big story is that there's European troops, NATO troops that are being amassed and using Polish, airspace and everything else to do their thing. And so it's getting real WW to the 3 out there, Article 5e, if you will. So do with it what you will. So let's get started. This one is entitled Death is Okay. Because, well, that's what certain people with a certain political viewpoint think about everybody else, but we'll get into that. Okay. All right, here we go. UK Royal Air Force jets says that they will fly air defense missions over Poland. So that was kind of the big story. Maureen Comey, the fired by Trump, it's Comey's daughter. She was a district attorney. Well, she's suing the Trump administration to get her job back. Germany's Chancellor Merz is close to tears. The reopening of a synagogue in Munich declared war on all forms of old and new anti-Semitism in the country. Trump says the United States military conducted a second kinetic strike on a boat transporting illegal narcotics from Venezuela. 3 male terrorists were killed in action. London's Mayor Sadiq Khan says that the Unite the Kingdom rally on Saturday has made London's diverse communities feel extremely worried and that the leaders of the far right are trying to hijack the British flag. Okay. Trump signs a presidential memorandum deploying National Guard, ICE, and other agencies to Memphis, Tennessee, to combat crime. Okay. As said on PrepperNow, going live or going and putting in the National Guard, I'm not real keen on, but like use the other agencies, use the FBI and stuff. Trump says, quote, "I'm doing a great job for peace in the Middle East. I should get lots of rewards for that." Israel launches a ground offensive to occupy Gaza City. United States is very close to a TikTok deal with China. United States Treasury Chief has stated. China says that NVIDIA violated an antitrust law and vows an extra probe. Netanyahu says Rubio's visit was a clear message that the United States stands with Israel. Framework for a deal and settle the U.S.-China dispute over TikTok calls for the social media platform to come under U.S.-controlled ownership, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Monday. Elon Musk has bought $1 billion in Tesla shares. Spain has canceled Israel arms contract worth nearly 700 million euros, according to officials. Vice President J.D. Vance has hosted Charlie Kirk's show. He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected, said J.D. Vance. getting me elected as vice president, and so much of our success over the last 7 months is due to his efforts. Arab Muslims leaders have urged review of Israel's ties over Qatar, an attack in draft statement. Gulf states called on their close ally Washington to use its leverage to rein in Israel following unprecedented Israeli strikes on Hamas in Qatar last week. U.S. official pushed back on the claim that Trump could have stopped the strike on Qatar, but didn't. These anonymous Israeli sources making false accusations against the President of the United States and his administration should smarten up. Tyson Foods is dropping high fructose corn syrup. The company's pledge follows Trump's administration push to reduce usage of certain ingredients in food. Senate has confirmed Stephen Moran for the Federal Reserve Board, 48 to 47. Hillary Clinton is now selling T-shirts and scrunchies featuring her name and image, reportedly to raise money either for a potential presidential comeback or to cover legal defense costs. President Trump has authorized another military strike, killing 3 individuals who were on their way from the U.S. to the U.S. from Venezuela. President Trump personally guarantees that Israel will not bomb Qatar again. Charlie Kirk's hitman is on suicide watch as Tyler Robinson refuses to cooperate and the FBI scrambles to crack into his phone. FBI is investigating multiple social media accounts that seem to have had prior knowledge of the Charlie Kirk hit plot. President Nicolas Maduro says the United States military operation is about regime change and not drugs. They want a puppet government, Venezuela's oil to pressure OPEC and control the world's largest reserves. Venezuela will never be anyone's colony. Trump said, quote, I have just read a news report that Hamas has moved the hostages above ground to use them as human shields. I hope the leaders of Hamas know what they're getting into. This is a human atrocity. Don't let this happen or all bets are off. Release the hostages now. Reporter says, do you plan on designating Antifa as a terror organization? Because it is. Trump says that that is something I would do. Venezuelan President Maduro says, I am not, nor do I want to be a magnate or a multi-millionaire. I do not have nor want to have goods of fortune. It does not inspire me to accumulate hotels, casinos, or riches. Okay. Shoe prices in the U.S. are climbing as companies are running out of pre-tariff stock and face import costs up to 50%. Industry leaders warn bigger hikes are coming as production costs have surged 15 to 20%. Marco Rubio told Netanyahu that Trump administration supports a ground operation in Gaza but wants to see it implemented quickly. U.S. official Axios also said that the Trump administration will not stop Israel and will allow it to make its own decisions regarding the war in Gaza. And it's not Trump's war, it's Bibi's war, and he will own whatever happens next. What will happen when Israel's gas runs out? This is kind of a longer one, but it's an interesting one. It's about how Israel is running out of energy of the physical kind. Israel is staring down an energy cliff. Its gas reserves will run dry in just 20 years, according to interministerial reports of Haaretz. Gas is the backbone of the Israeli power. 70% of electricity comes from gas, 14% from renewables, and coal is being phased out. Even if Israel hits its target of 50% renewables by 2040, gas will still be dominant. Israeli Energy Ministry is already planning 13 new gas-fired plants in the next decade. What solutions are on the table? Well, renewables. Israel could pivot to green energy in theory, yet in practice this is almost impossible. Solar accounts for nearly all renewable production, but the land demands are staggering. Storage batteries for night use will skyrocket costs. Just one cloudy day could plunge the grid into darkness. Nuclear power. Well, dream on. Nuclear power could offer a steady supply of electricity, but Israel hasn't even approved a site. Israel or its governments have installed on or stalled on approving new gas plants or even modest wood projects, as each has been met with public backlash and courtroom battles. A single reactor costs tens of billions of dollars and takes decades to build. Even in countries with experience, projects have dragged on for years. Hydrogen hype, well, it's the buzzword of the future, but it's not a solution for Israel. Cheapest hydrogen today is gray, made by breaking down methane. It costs just 1 to 150 per kilo, but the process releases carbon, making it dirtier than burning natural gas directly. More desirable turquoise or renewable based hydrogen runs $4 to $9 per kilo. Producing it in Israel would demand vast new solar farms. Importing hydrogen isn't an easy fix. Pipelines built for methane can't handle it. Transporting it safely remains costly and complex. And no surprise then that Israel's plan B is it's an awful lot of energy you got off the coast there, Palestine. Director Kash Patel reveals that Charlie Kirk's alleged hitman Tyler Robinson's Discord group had more than 20 members, and they may soon be questioned. Going back to the group chats real quick, there's more than 20 individual. We, the FBI, are running the investigation. Point on the Discord chat group, there are scores of individuals that are going to be spoken to. Ruh-roh. Radical leftists in the U.S. have vandalized graffiti painted in honor of the murdered Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska and painted a graffiti of her murder. They took her graffiti, they made a picture of her through graffiti, it's good looking, and they covered over it with the murderer. That's where we're at. Just ponder that for one moment. Lady gets murdered violently. And now it's cool to put the picture of the murderer over the lady. That is a dead society. Just saying. Right-wing populist AfD has tripled its local election gains in Germany's NRW, emerging as the third force. They have surged in Western Germany's North Rhine-Westphalia local elections, nearly tripling its 2020 results of 14.5%, nationwide up 9.4 percentage points, overtaking the Greens down to 13.5% to claim third place behind the CDU and SPD. Worst communal performance for both parties since 1946. Voter turnout rose to 56.5% from 51.9% in 2020, with about 13.7 million eligible voters deciding 20,000 mandates and key mayoral posts. 24% of Americans believe that Charlie Kirk's shooter, Tyler Robinson, was a Republican, compared to 21% who think he was a Democrat, according to a new YouGov poll. It's called astroturfing. Comes as its concerted media effort across Facebook, Reddit, X, amplified by Bill Maher and outlets such as Reuters and the New York Times, convinced the public that Robinson, who attacked Kirk is as a fascist and lived with a transgender boyfriend, was a, quote, right-wing follower of Nick Fuentes. Truth doesn't matter anymore, folks. It's just imposing your will. Twitch streamer Stephen Bonnell, also known as Destiny, called for conservatives to be killed more often so they will be afraid to attend events or speak out. And the Times has written that India has crossed the red line by joining the Russian-Belarusian military exercises. The publication reports that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi sent troops to participate in the West exercises, which simulate a conflict with neighboring NATO countries. This occurred amid worsening relations between New Delhi and Washington. Indian Ministry of Defense confirmed that it sent 65 soldiers, including fighters from the prestigious Kumaon Regiment, who are stationed at the Molino Training Ground, about 65 kilometers west of Nizhny Novgorod. So that's that. All right, friends. That's your crisis report for September 15th into 16th, 2025. Going on dark mode, folks. Darkness is spreading, everyone. Darkness. And it is spreading. So hopefully you are doing the things. Go check out my gear review on the OPES Exodus 1200. Big deals going on OPES right now. OUPES.com. OUPES.com. 52% off. That thing will get you through if you need it. Also, we're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you are possibly looking at changing your IRA into gold and silver, Augusta Precious Metals is one of the highest rated companies out there, and you should check them out to do so and give them a shot. They'll just basically click on the link, they'll set up a time, they'll talk to you about it for a little bit, and then you'll make a plan to go ahead or not. So that, my friends, is your crisis report for September 16th, 15th, 16th, 15th, 16th, 2025. God bless you all. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you on the next one.